Right, there's a £100 voucher available from Santander if you follow a few relatively simple steps. The good news is this is not a bank switch offer, and that's good news for a couple of reasons. One, you don't have to go through that whole process of closing down an old account, which you might not want to close, or you might not have a spare dummy account going anyway. But secondly, it means that if you've already had switching cash from Santander before, that's okay. This is a completely separate deal. So I'll take you through how to do it, because there are a few very specific steps you need to take to get it, and my kind of suggestions on the best ways around activating the offer, making sure it all comes through. So what is it? What does I say? It's a £100 Amazon voucher if you open up a Santander Everyday, Santander Edge, Santander Edge Up, or Santander Edge Explorer current accounts. They're the four options that count for it. And it has to be a brand new account that you open. It's not about transferring across an existing one. It's a brand new account you have to open. Now the catch here is this is not run directly with Santander. It's run by a different limited list of partners. Now this includes a lot of comparison sites such as Go Compare, Compare the Market, Money Supermarket. Also, and this is my suggestion of the way to go through it, is available via TopCashback, because if you go via TopCashback, there's another £20 available on top of that £100. But you have to make sure you go via the links that you see on those particular sites. If you do that, and you are successfully accepted for this new current account, you then have to use the Santander debit card that comes with that account 30 times in the first 60 days. So let's say it takes 3 or 4 days to get the card, maybe a bit longer. You've then got to make sure before 60 days is up from when you successfully get the card that you do use it in that amount of times. And I'll come back to in a minute a few ways you might be able to hack that, which might make things a little bit easier too. So relatively simple. That is all you need to do. Obviously, the account also needs to be open when you get the voucher. Now, this voucher doesn't come straight away. You have to wait until February. And in February, you will be sent an email, and then you've got 30 days to claim it. So all in, if you're opening up this account now, and we don't know when this offer is going to end, but let's say you're opening it up in late October, you've got to keep it all of November, all of December, all of January, and probably most of February as well, before you can close that account down if you want to. But that's it. Relatively simple compared to other offers out there. It is obviously worth mentioning quickly as well that when you apply for this current account, there will be a hard search on your credit reports, as there is with pretty much most current account applications as well. So if you do have something important coming up within the next 6 months, like a mortgage application, for example, or an urgent balance transfer credit card, then you might want to think about whether this is worth doing or not. If there's nothing on the horizon, you're pretty much fine doing it. Then yeah, absolutely make sure you do this application, but remember it will be via those certain links, but remember it will be subject to a credit check. So who can get this? And this is the good news here. Both new and existing Santander customers can apply for one of those 4 accounts via this promotion. Now, there is no restriction at all saying you're eligible if you've previously taken advantage of a similar offer. So it sounds like you'll be pretty good to get this, even if you've had money previously in this form, or even in a bank switching promotion. There's nothing that says you can't get it. But you do have to be over 18 years old and live in the UK. But as long as that all fits together, then you can apply for it. Now, I said we don't know when this is going to end. It launched on the 20th of October. These things could go any day now, so I wouldn't hang about. I would sort of go for it if you are interested. Could run for a while. Great if it did, but I imagine this one will be a pretty short-lived one. Now, there is a way, as I said before, to get a little bit more money on this, and that's rather than going via one of those comparison site options, it is to go via a cashback site. Over on TopCashback, they are offering £20 for opening up any of those different current accounts. So you apply via the cashback site, click that link, it will open up a form. It's the same form you get whichever way you go through. You enter in your details there, and then that click through from that form through to Santander to actually make the application for the account. That middle form is really important because that's the one that will track the voucher later on to give you actually get that £100 voucher. But go via TopCashback. There's no additional things you need to do. You literally just apply via them in the first place before you go to those middlemen, before you go to Santander. Might take a bit while for that 20 quid to come through. It says about 90 days for the payment to be approved, and then maybe another 4 to 6 weeks after that for the money to actually reach your TopCashback account before you can claim it out. But even so, if you're doing this, why not go via that route anyway? And it's worth just a quick reminder at this stage as well, that if you aren't already using TopCashback, we've got an exclusive £20 welcome bonus over on becleverwithyourcash.com. You can find the link over there, very easy. Go to the website and just search for cashback and it will pop up. We'll also put it in the links here. Now this one, you can't use it in conjunction with the Santander offer, because this one requires you to spend £10. Obviously, by applying for this debit card for this current account, you're not spending any money at all. So I would go via the TopCashback welcome link first of all. There are thousands and thousands of retailers, big names on there. I'm sure there's something you want to buy. You buy something that costs at least £10 to trigger that £20 bonus, plus whatever the cashback rate is they're giving. And once you've done that, then I would go to the Santander current account page and then make that application, as we said before, just to make sure you're getting that £20 bonus for joining TopCashback, plus that £20 Santander cashback, and then that £100 Amazon voucher after all. Now, worth quickly talking about that voucher actually, because you do need to sort of be careful here, because it is not automatic. It doesn't mean in February, bang, here's your voucher, as you would do with switching cash. You will need to claim it. So the terms say that on the 12th of February or after the 12th of February, 2026, you will get an email from voucher sent. Okay, so look out for that. I've put a note in my calendar. I've done this application. I've put a note in my calendar on the 12th of February to check for this email, because when that email comes through, there will be the instructions there on how to claim that £100 Amazon voucher. And you've only got 30 days to do this. So you don't want to miss it. You don't want to risk it getting lost in your spam or just forgetting about it. That comes through, you claim the money, the voucher comes through, and then you can add it to your Amazon account, no problem. Now, if there is an issue, then there is a way for you to get in touch with them by the 26th of February and then till the 12th of March to put in a claim saying that where is this? I haven't had this email yet. So that means you should get that email between the 12th of February and the 26th of February. The initial email you get when you first apply, again, from that voucher sent email address, will carry confirmation that we've tracked you for this order. And within that, there is a link that you can click through. So make sure you get that email on the first application, make a note to look for that one in mid-February, and make sure you do claim that money. So let's talk a little bit more detail about the accounts, which one you should go for. There are 4 different accounts that are available, as I said. I would ignore the Edge Up. I don't think that gives any value to anybody, but the other 3 all have positives. The Santander Edge, spoken to you guys about this one quite a lot. This one offers 1% cashback on your bills, as well as access to a 6% paying savings account on balances of up to £4,000. So all in, that's pretty good. It does come with a £3 fee every single month. So you want to make sure that the cashback on the bills is at least earning you more than £3 a month. So at least you're making a little bit of profit there. And also you've got money in that savings account for it to be worthwhile. But all in, it's one of our top sort of current accounts here at Be Clever with Your Cash. The Santander Edge Explorer is the new upgrade of that that's just been released. And this is basically a packaged account, which means as well as all the features you get with the Edge, you also get worldwide travel insurance for the family, you get car breakdown cover, and you get mobile phone insurance. It is more expensive at £17 a month. But if you are going for those features and also the Edge bit as well, then it can be really well worth it. But if you don't need those extras, then I would stick just with the Edge rather than going with the Explorer. It does have a few little extra bits on top of that as well, such as 1% cashback on supermarket and travel debit card spending, which could be useful, but hopefully you've already got another cashback card out there, which will do the same thing. So that's a little extra if you haven't, but not a reason to go for it. However, if you already have an Edge or an Edge Explorer, or you don't want those extras, you just want an account where you can get this money and you can just ditch it once you've got the £100 Amazon voucher, then I would go for the everyday account. And that's actually what I've done. I've applied for that. This is a no frills account. It has no perks, no special features of any kind, but it's also completely free. And also there are no limits to how many of these you can have. As I mentioned before, you can only have one Edge. You can only have one Edge Explorer individually, at least anyway. So if you already have those or a combination of things, you can't get them again. So go for the everyday account and that will sort yourself out there. Debit card spending as well. Quick hack here. I said I'd talk about this at £30 transactions in 2 months. If this is your main account you're using for most of your spending, that should hopefully be okay. I'm not 100% sure that I use my debit card that often. I probably do if you do like things like Apple Pay and online spending and stuff like that. But I don't want to use a Santander debit card for that, because if I'm doing that, that means I'm not taking advantage of cashback that I can earn from the likes of my cashback debit and credit cards or cashback on gift cards. So instead, there are ways, and I've covered this in a lot more detail in a separate episode of the podcast, a separate video, and a separate article on Be Clever With Your Cash. So however it is you want to find out more about it, you can go there. But this is the debit card spending hack. So just search for that and you'll find more information there. But this is essentially where you are using your debit card to spend without really spending. So it's adding money to a different current account, or to pay off a cashback credit card, or potentially to put money into a savings account. There are a number of ways you can do this. Now, obviously 30 over 2 months is quite a lot. I wouldn't blitz it all in one go. I'd maybe space it out a little bit, because that could look a little bit dodgy if it's just small amounts each time, moving a pound here, a pound there on the receiving end, let alone Santander, but the account that you're moving it to. So maybe spread it out a little bit over the 60 days, but just remember to do it. Make sure you do hit that 60 transactions, so 30 transactions in those 60 days. And again, it's worth putting little reminders in each week to do this in case you forget. But there's one last thing I do want to talk about when it comes to this, because this £100 off, it sounds pretty good, sounds relatively simple, as I say, but we do have to be aware of the impact this might have on future bank switching incentives from Santander. Now, if you've already had a bank switch offer from Santander in the past, then you are ruled out of getting them in the future again, okay? So you don't need to worry about it. But if this is your first Santander account, taking this £100 now could mean if a higher value switching deal happens in the next year, you can't get it. Now, if we look at the most recent Santander bank switching deal, which ran in the summer of this year, started in May, ran for a couple of months, was worth 180 quid. The terms were, and these were the first time these terms had been introduced, they were different in previous iterations of the offer. You could not do this if you had a Santander account on the 1st of January. Now, if you'd closed an account before that or never had one, you were fine. But if you had an account on that date, you were ruled out. So let's assuming they do a similar thing next year and it's the 1st of January 2026 is the cutoff date. Well, obviously you will have a Santander account running, because you'll need to keep it open to get that £100 Amazon voucher in February. However, once you've got that £100 Amazon voucher, you can just close that account down. And then if the following year, a switching deal comes around with those terms, yeah, you have to wait for this. If the terms are the same, of course, I can't guarantee they will, they always can change. Then you'll be able to hopefully get it. So kind of can't guarantee that this wouldn't stop you getting that money later on, but I hope it wouldn't. You just might have to wait for it. But it is something to bear in mind. If you are cautious of that and you'd rather get, in theory, a larger amount of cash, you might want to forgo this and just wait for the cash switching offer to come along. More information about this and all other bank switching deals and new customer deals over at becleverwithyourcash.com/banks. My name's Andy Webb. Thanks so much for watching. Check out these videos here for more ways to make the most of your money.